So a lot of times we get students who are in these United States of America, they come to our law firm and they're on F1 status and they want to ultimately adjust their status to a green card, a legal permanent resident card. Well, there's many different creative legal solutions to get that, as long as the intent has now changed from being a student to now wanting to obtain that green card. There's many ways, such as going from an F1 visa to an H1B visa and adjusting that visa type to ultimately have that employment based on that employer via the H1B process. And then once you have the H1B, you can then convert that as well to an EB3 visa / green card, ultimately with the employer sponsoring you to get that green card. So that's a really common pathway. We also see, unfortunately, people who do fall victim to being of crime, and what ends up happening is they're a student, they're just trying to do their studies and they happen to fall to be a victim of a crime, and then they can get a U visa, and a U visa, victim of crime visa, that they will then enroll in and they'll apply for and as the victim, and that process will play its course, and then ultimately after they get the U visa they can then apply for the green card a couple years later after that. The other option they do have as actually students is you can also apply for asylum if it's within the first year. This is not the most common approach, but if you truly have a valid claim of asylum, this could be a pathway that you could utilize if you truly are someone who is persecuted in that home country. Another option you do have is going from an F1 visa to what's called an EB5, which is where you actually are investing $800,000 in a targeted employment area, which is basically a rural area or a high unemployment area. And basically what you can do is you can get a direct green card for yourself, your spouse, and your unmarried children under the age of 21 if you want to invest that certain amount of money into a investment, into a commercial enterprise. So that is another way we've seen where people can ultimately go from a student to being a green card holder. Another great option is also the EB1 program. This is for very much people who are very skilled, people with high degrees like PhDs and things of that nature. You can also apply for these EB1 programs, which is an employment-based preference category where you can then adjust status that way as well. And then finally, there's also green card through marriage. If you find someone that you really love here in these United States and you get married, your spouse can actually end up sponsoring you to get a green card via the adjustment of status process through green card through marriage. So there's a lot of various options. This is not an exhaustive list, of course. It's all very based upon your certain skill set, your profession, what's going on in your life. All these things matter. But ultimately, there's a lot of different ways to do it. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to Triple Law and we'll be more than happy to guide you through that immigration journey from a student visa to ultimately that legal permanent resident card. Thank you.